Hello, my name is Ron, and today I'm doing something a little bit differently. First off, like I often am, I'm in my van, just because the environment in here is pretty good. I live in an apartment complex, so, you can hear like screaming children at the pool, especially during the day, and other people like talking or whatever around, so that's why I often come here. Environment does play a big part in, your life, but that's not the purpose of today's video. So first off, as you might have noticed, the camera isn't shaking this time. I just went ahead and mounted it up on the you know window with one of those suction cup things that they use for like Uber drivers and stuff. And so first off today, I'm going to talk about is, what do you do, for instance, when if you have a vehicle, your brakes are bad. So since this channel is all about personal development and personal finance, what happened to me a long time ago was, oh, like everyone, your brake pads do go bad over time. You do use them. They're designed to wear down. And I took it in and they quoted me an outrageous price just for like two brake pads, two front brake pads. They wanted, I think it was like $200 or more. And I was just like, I don't really want to pay that. I mean, if I will if I have to, but I didn't really want to. So I started, checking out prices and stuff, and the pads themselves were $20. Yeah, for both sides were $20. They're charging $200. So I started watching YouTube videos because I was like, okay, how hard can this be? I don't want to make a serious mistake and kill myself later on, but how hard can this be? If I watch the videos and I conclude that it's just not worth the risk, then I won't do it, and I'll pay the $200 and get them done. So I watched some YouTube videos about how to change brake pads on my specific vehicle, and it really wasn't that difficult. I mean, everything is slightly difficult at first when you first try something, but it didn't look that hard. It wasn't like I was like crossing wires and, got to be careful of electrocuting myself or anything like that. So I was like, okay. I went ahead and, got the tool specs and all that stuff, and I got all the tools. And when I bought all the parts, and I didn't even have to buy the cheapest parts now because, if it's going to cost me like $20, I can actually spend actually more on better quality, because the shops, they're not going to buy the best quality. They're going to buy the cheapest quality in order to maximize their profits. So I went ahead and bought like not low end types, but I upped the quality to like a mid range, which made about, I think it was like 30 or $35 or something like that for them. And they even had like noise canceling tech in them, and they were really nice. And so I went ahead and started working on my car, and I had to buy the tools because I'm not that much of a tool person. But when I bought all the tools, and I got all the parts and the cleaners and the grease and all that stuff, I think it was like maybe $70 total, for everything. And they wanted to charge me $200 for no tools. So now I have the tools on top of, the parts as well. And then because I live in an apartment complex, it was a little more difficult to actually replace them because, so I was like, well, I don't have a driveway, I don't have a garage or anything like that, so I'm gonna have to basically do them right out in the open in front of everybody. And at first I was like, well, they have rules that say don't do that, but I was looking at other people. I saw people like replacing their whole damn engines in another, carport, and I was just looking around, and other people are like changing out their tires and whatnot just in their spots, and I was just like, well, they're obviously not listening. So I just waited till the weekend when the office was closed, and I went ahead and like started working on the car. The first time, yeah, it is a little confusing. I had to pop up the YouTube videos again in order to, like, okay, I'm a little confused at this part. Let me go back and rewatch that one section, and then I'll like watch it once or twice. And I'm like, okay, I think I got it now, and I went ahead and fixed it. It wasn't that difficult. The most tricky part of the whole process was using I think it's called C clamp. You have to put the piston back in, otherwise you're not going to be able to put it back together. That was the most tricky part of it all. And it's really not that tricky. You just need to have the tool to do it, which really isn't expensive. It was like $7 for a big one, so it was not expensive. And I put it all together, pumped the brakes, which you better do, otherwise you're going to get yourself killed. Of course, the video covered that too, so I was ready for it. And I drove off and I had these brand new brake pads, new tools and everything for like $70. The hell with paying $200+ for some brake job. And I was like, I can do this better. Maybe not better like quality wise, but I can do it as well, but also save a truckload of money in the process. So the point of this is, it's like if you have some expensive thing, it's possible for you to do it yourself. Now, is it worth doing it yourself? You have to weigh the pros and the cons. If you got like a mechanical issue, maybe watch some videos, decide for yourself if you want to do it. Yeah, it'll cost some of your time, but the savings could be enormous. I mean, if I didn't have to buy the tools, I could have like just spent like $35 instead of 200 for brakes. And this came in real handy later when, a long time later I replaced that car. I mean, it was had other problems that I didn't want to like do myself anyway. But, electrical stuff is not my expertise, so I didn't want to touch that. But, later on, it's like my next vehicle, which is actually the one I'm sitting in right now, its front brakes went bad, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And then I kept putting it off, kept putting it off, kept putting it off. And one day, like, I mean, it was grinding bad, like, really bad, like, you wonder if, like, the whole damn thing's gonna, fall apart. It was grinding that badly. And I was like, I really need to fix this vehicle. And it's like, but I kept putting it off, kept putting it off, and one day, it's like, as I'm getting on the freeway, I heard a snap. Yeah, my brake pad had um, worn down so much that it actually broke. Yeah, I mean, that was some pretty extreme wear. So it broke and fell out of the caliper. And then the piston that has your brakes are built on hydraulics, so the piston came too far out of the cylinder and like started spewing brake fluid all over the place. And I'm getting on the freeway right now, and then it's just like, oh my god, my brake power went to like nothing. I'm like, oh, I'm in serious trouble now, because if I have no brakes, is this, am I gonna be dead in like 10 minutes or less? Somehow I had enough brake fluid left in the reserves to, even though it's still spewing out the left pad where it's gone. I had enough fluid left in the reserves to have some little bit of braking power, nothing of consequence. I mean, it was less than the handbrake, and I was using that too. And somehow on a hill I was able to come to a stop. I had to start very early, but I got it to home, and I couldn't move that van again. Like, I could not. I mean, it was dangerous now. It was like, no way. And so someone came by and helped me with it. I mean, I went and bought like a rotor and stuff like that. Actually, I called up a shop and asked them, it's like, okay, this is what I have. How much will it cost me? And they wanted $700. I was just like, oh my, that's horrible. I mean, I need my vehicle, but that's horrible. Okay, I'll pay it if I have to, but let's see if I can get another option. And I contacted someone I worked with, and he would do it for like a giant bottle of tequila. Yeah, so I was like, sure, if you can do the job and you want tequila, I'm getting you some tequila. I don't care. I'll get you two. It's better than $700. And he went, and I watched him do the whole job and learned from watching him. So that when, that $700 job, even though I had to buy the parts, it cost me maximum of two. Maximum. And that replaced both the front rotors, both the front brake pads, and he put the piston back in, which was not an easy thing to do, and bled the whole brake system. And it only cost me a bottle of tequila. Like, it was $100 bottle of tequila. I didn't care, because I needed this, and it was better than $700. So when later on the back ones went bad, I was ready. I went and bought the parts myself. I watched a bunch of videos again, and I did it all myself. So of course I got checked out. They quoted me again. They wanted more than $500 for the back to rotors and pads. I replaced the entire thing myself and bought some extra tools for it for $230. And I got the tools on top of it. So I saved like $350 and I got the tools. So, if you have an issue, mechanical or otherwise, always check to see if you can do it yourself, and be honest with yourself. If it looks way too much then don't do it. Especially if you're going to mess something else up, like something really important. But if it's not a big deal, you think you can do it, give it a shot. Take a chance. I mean, what's the worst thing that happened? If it's already broken, what are you going to break it even more? Maybe. But, just be honest with yourself and maybe get a second opinion so that way you can be like better prepared. And once you do things like this, not only do you save a ton of money when you can do your own mechanical work, at least some of it, some of the more basic stuff, but also, it'll make you feel even better about yourself because you feel empowered. You can do things yourself. You don't need mechanics for these specific issues. You know, so, this is the message for today. And you could save an absolute ridiculous amount of money if you can do mechanical work yourself. And if you can't, learn how. And if you still don't want to do it, be willing to pay the price. If you're willing to pay the price and you can pay the price, okay, sure, great. But if you want to save the money, you want a couple extra $100, you want 500 extra dollars, it can be even greater than that depending on how good you are, how much you learn about mechanical stuff. But if you want that extra money to put to some new TV, new couch, even like some more personal development courses, go for it. Give it a shot. You'd be surprised what you can pull off when you actually try. So, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe for more videos that I'm doing all the time. And if you want to help with any specific issue, go ahead and comment it down below. And that way I can make something up for you right away. All right, have a great day.